What's up, guys? Um, Man, wanted to kind of post this video, and I just wanted to touch on something that is, a little bit outside of the content that I normally post on here, but I felt like it. I don't know. I just needed to touch on this because it's been kind of in my head for the last couple days, and so anyway, I know you may be thinking like, "Wow, he never does videos like this." So I don't know. I, Maybe it's stupid to even talk about it. I don't know, but I'm just like really kind of struggling a little bit with this because it's important to me. But most of the time I don't get emotionally invested in like celebrities and things like that. I couldn't care less about Hollywood or famous people, that kind of stuff. That stuff doesn't mean anything to me. But I'm sure some people have heard, Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger from Power Rangers, passed away Saturday, and it's it seems like it's really shaking a lot of people. People are really kind of struggling with it. It looks like, I mean, and rightfully so. Um, Man, such a huge loss. I don't even know how to put it into words. You know, you go back to when I was just a kid, man. I was obsessed with Power Rangers, just crazily obsessed. It's like that's all I ever wanted to be. And I was this very nerdy, shy, introverted young kid that didn't have a lot of friends, and came from a broken home and kind of in a uh, less than stellar home life. And that was like my saving grace. That was my sanctity, my refuge, if you will, for me to have a something that gave me, I don't know, inspiration and made me want to do good things, right? And it's not surprising. Tommy was the best ranger, right? You know, growing up with that and watching these characters on TV was, for me, it was inspirational because those characters were not just characters. They were people that we related with on some level for each of them. There was little things about each original six characters that I could pick apart and say, well, I relate with this, or I relate with that. And Tommy was like the dude I think that every guy wanted to be like, right? They wanted to be this popular, athletic, decent looking guy that was confident in himself. And that character was like a really big thing. And then you realize later that the guy that played this character really wasn't very much different than his character. He was all of those things. And then you throw in the mix that he was a very good natured, very humble dude. Like, Jason David Frank was one of the nicest dudes around. I never met the guy. I had opportunities to meet him, and I missed out on a couple of them. And for that, I'll always have to carry that because that sucks. He was my hero growing up, like legit was my hero. And I so wish that I could just have grown up to be as inspirational to so many countless fans. And to to look back on him as the person that he was, and knowing what I know, someone who loved his family deeply. He was a devout Christian, which is big for me because, um, you know, I don't talk about it very much, but my faith is very important to me, and I come from a background where that's not really celebrated in our family, and to to see someone who was so deeply devoted to his faith was really inspiring to me for when I kind of, I guess you could say, be kind of when I became kind of born again. and that's been many, many years ago. But um, someone who just, exuded goodness everywhere he went. Someone who cared and legitimately loved his fans. Someone who always took time out for an autograph or a photo or sign something, that someone brought or whatever it was. I don't even know how to explain it to you. There are so few people in this world like that. Nowadays everybody's selfish and out for themselves, and they don't care who they trample on. This dude, I dare you to find anybody that can say anything bad about him. So to find out that, at 49 years old, this guy dies by, taking himself out due to depression or and just really unconquerable sadness is really, really, it's crushing. It's crushing. I won't lie. It's really, really sad. And I think, set aside the fact that this guy was famous and was well known for this kids TV show, right? Put all that stuff aside. Put aside the fame and all those things. Look at how this dude inspired so many people to be better and was a part of their lives without even really truly knowing these people, right? We never crossed paths, but we impact each other's lives, right? That's the common bond that we share. I impact his life because I'm a fan, and my passion, my devotion, it allows him to have this life to go on and do these great things, right? Which in turn you get back because it's reciprocated. When he impacts your life and inspires you to do good things, that's all we ever really want, is to be inspired to do good things. We want to give back. I like to believe that humans are natured, that we want to give back and we want to do good things. Um, it's just such a huge loss, because I feel like there's so few people in this world that are like him, that that really truly cared. And it's really sad. It's really sad because one of my heroes is gone. I've lost a lot of my heroes in the last few years. Long time. I've lost some of my favorite guitar players. Some of my friends have passed, and when they leave, they don't just leave. They take a little part of you with them, and it's kind of hard to recover from that, I think. Um, Man, it's just really, really sad, and my heart breaks for his family. He leaves behind, ex-wife, whatever you want to call her. They were going through a divorce, and 4 children, and man, it's just really sad, really sad. And I don't even know how to put it into words sometimes, how it makes me feel, because um, for those who don't know, if you've never experienced it, depression is a really, really horrible thing. It's crushing. I mean, really, really is. It's spirit breaking. Um, I suffer from clinical depression, and I have my bouts of anxiety. I'm doing better in the last few years because I've taken the time and done the work to go to therapy and get my head right. But there are a lot of people in this world that can't afford those resources, and they don't have them, or they can't afford them. Um, and the sadness gets them, you know. And I can only imagine how someone who was so deeply devoted to his faith could feel at that moment right before he left this world, knowing that whether it's true or not, where you go when you self delete, right? That sadness has to be so immeasurable and just so unrelenting that you would, rather do take that risk than to live like that for the rest of your life. And that's actually very scary to me, because if someone like that could become a victim to that, you know, that mental illness, and it's like, what chance does that leave for someone like me, right? And the saddest thing is like, he wasn't alone. He wasn't alone. He had so many people that loved him and cared for him, and would have done anything if he just reached out to somebody. Somebody just said, "Hey, bro, like, how are you?" And if he would have said, "Hey, man, I'm not doing well. I just need to talk." All you got to do is just reach up, man. Just reach up. I speak from experience. I've been there. I know what it feels like. I've been right where he was, or pretty close to it. Luckily, I walked it back, And you have to be very careful about how you word that, but I've been there. And it's really hard to kind of come to terms with it, because I think we all grow up, and we have our heroes that we follow, that they make such a huge impact on your lives that it kind of sets the pace for the rest of your life. Now, I don't know, man. It's hard. It's really hard. My mind's been trying to make heads or tails of it, and I didn't want to post a video yesterday because finding out the news, it's like you're too emotional at this point. It's not going to make any sense. Now I've had 24 hours or so to sit back and kind of to think about it and process it, and I see all the tributes pouring in on like YouTube and Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, wow, like, this is a big thing, like, people are really shaken up by this. You never expect this caliber of person to go out like that. That's what's so scary about it, and that's the most I guess the most um, telling aspect of it is that depression can take anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you've done and achieved in your life. It's unrelenting, and it's uncaring. It doesn't care, and I feel very, very sorry for Jason that he had to experience that. It's not fair. It's not fair for anybody. I don't want that for anybody. I don't want to hear of any of my friends going out like that, whether I've met you or not. I don't want that for any of you guys. As I would hope that you guys wouldn't want that for anybody else. We live in a world where it's uncaring, it's cold and unkind. That's the last thing we need, is more people wishing, I hope this person, self terminates or takes himself out because they disagree with something that person said, or you don't see eye to eye, or whatever the reasons are. We need less of that. More people to, need to start opening up and saying, look, um, I don't know, man. I just feel like people have just lost their way, and sometimes we get so caught up in the little small details that we forget that we're all human. We all suffer, we all have problems and pains and heartache and loss and tragedies, but you can't let those things derail you from chasing what is important to you. Go out there, be the best person that you can be, chase those dreams, set the goals, go for them, achieve, inspire, pay it forward, give it back. That's what I feel like he did for everybody. You know, he inspired me to do a lot of things. Inspired my newfound, not new, brand new, but my rediscovery of my faith, and it's in part of that, in part to him, that I feel that way, and to try to live a little bit better lifestyle and not get so unhealthy that I can't come back from it. To try to take charge on some issues that I have with my body and try to take care of myself, And he loved his martial arts, man. He loved it, lived it. That was his number one. He was an MMA fighter, and did all these great roles in these shows and movies, and he was an inspiration to so many people. And that's what I want to be. I want to inspire people. I don't want to. I don't care about fame. I don't care about being rich. None of that crap. Excites me, right? But inspiring people to do better. That's that's my thing. Um, and I think a lot of that comes from growing up with him as kind of a childhood hero, and then seeing, wow, this guy's actually a really good dude. Like he's got a huge heart, and he really truly cared. It's just so sad, so tragic, so unnecessary. It didn't have to be this way. I know that he's suffered a lot, with some past tragedies and stuff, and I'm not going to talk about it because it's not fair to bring up his personal stuff. It's not my place, but I'm not judging him. I hold no hatred towards him for this. Um, I'm unhappy. I'm very sad about it. I wish that he hadn't done this because so many people are really kind of are really sad right now. It's really making people sad, and it's a stark reality that what, it could be anybody. Mental health is a thing that is so seldomly talked about in our country nowadays, and for men alone, especially for men, we're not allowed to talk about it. It's taboo for men to talk about it. We're not allowed to break down and express our emotions and feel what we feel and say how we feel. Right? We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to suck it up and go about our business and you know just continue pushing forward. But it's not that way. That's not realistic. We all break down at some point, and we all have things that happen to us. And it's not logical to think that we're supposed to just take it and go. And mental health is one of those things that, because I suffer from it myself, I'm a big advocate for people going to therapy and seeking help and finding treatments and resources and all those things. Um, you'll never hear me ever talk bad about going to therapy or say that it's a waste of time, because I'll never say that. It saved my life multiple times. And we overlook it in this country. We turn a blind eye to it. We don't even pay attention to people that are suffering because we're so wrapped up in our own crap that we ignore the signs. I could go hours talking about this, but I'm going to try to finish up here pretty quick. But I'll say this to whoever watches this video all the way to the very end, man, and for all the people that know me and people that follow me on here, man, I love you guys. You know, you're all a part of the family, man. And I hope that if any of you ever have any problems, man, you don't hesitate to reach out to anybody. Reach out to me if you need to. Depression messes with your head. It makes you feel like you're alone, like nobody cares. But I promise you, and I say this from experience, you are loved by more people than you are hated. Always remember that. You're never truly alone, man. Ever. In a planet with how many billions and billions of people? You really think that nobody in this planet loves you, cares about you, worries about you, or will cry when you're gone? Of course there are people out there. You just have to, like I said, you have to reach up. Just put a hand out and say, help me. Help me get back to where I was. If all else fails, man, and you got no one else to turn to me. Hit me up. Get me at the DMs, man. I'll talk to you. I don't have any problem talking to anybody. And I'm praying for peace for his family. I know it seems maybe some people think it's ridiculous. That's fine. You have your opinion, whatever. I rely on my faith, and I rely on those feelings that, what, these things do help. And I hope that somewhere along the line, yeah, I know that they'll never be truly at peace, but I hope that they do find some resolution, some comfort. And for the fans, man, I feel you guys. I know exactly how you feel. I feel gutted. I feel like another good guy is taken away from us far too soon. But we have to keep pushing forward, right? We have to live our lives. We can't let this stop us. We have to go out there and live. We have to continue going forward, not just for ourselves, but for him, because he wouldn't want us to stop. He wouldn't want you to roll over and throw in the towel. Quitting wasn't an option for Jason David Frank. Never. It was never an option. Like his tattoo said, Jesus didn't tap. And you can't tap either. You guys have to keep pushing forward. And we just have to carry that flame and spread the word and make the world remember how cool of a person he was and how influential and important he was. And I know that Jason is looking down on us right now, and I know that he's seen how much he meant to so many people, and that's very, very important. And that's probably one of the few things that's keeping me kind of like keeping it together right now. Um, but I'm not mad at him. I can't be mad at him because it's not fair. I'm unhappy and I'm sad, but I'm not mad at him because it's not right to harbor feelings of anger or resentment or ill will towards him because he was so unhappy. So I can't be mad at him. Man, yeah, he's missed already. He's already missed, deeply missed. And I don't know. It's just going to be really, really sad without him around because I was hoping at some point to being able to get to meet him and shake his hand and say, hey, man, thank you for everything you've done. You may not know it, but you made a huge impact on this life. So, I don't know. It's just a really, really sad day. But I love you guys. I hope everybody's doing all right. And like I said, man, if you feel like you got nobody in your corner, you always got me. I may not be the best person to talk to, but at least it's better than nothing, right? And I'll do the best I can. So, all right. Appreciate it, guys. Love you.